Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Mo Love Podcast, Honest Conversations with Mo. I got a special guest here. I know I don't normally do guests, but I got my guy in the building, Brashawn Holly. What's going on, Brashawn? Say what's up to the
Not
people.
much, man. No, I appreciate you having me, man. Looking forward to it. You know, we work together, and Mo is one of the dopest people I know. So, I'm just excited for the
I
opportunity,
appreciate
man. I
that, Doug.
appreciate you having me. Man. No, for sure. I mean, we got to talk about your team, but as far as
We gonna get into that. We gonna
yeah,
definitely get
yeah,
into that. But just give a little quick intro to the people about yourself. Obviously,
yeah,
like you said, we work together. Anything else you kind of want to share? Kind of about yourself overall with the people.
yeah. I mean, working sports. Favorite team, Carolina Panthers. I'm born and raised in Charlotte. So I don't know why that's a laugh. We gonna get into that, like
You
you
know why that's a
said.
laugh.
But favorite team, the Carolina Panthers. I also rock with the Hornets. So I'm not a bandwagon. I don't jump on these
Wow.
winning teams. Like actually I want to see it through. So but I
Okay,
mean,
fair enough.
other than that, I'm just blessed to be here, man. So yeah, that's about it.
All right, that's a bet. That's a bet. But before, obviously, as always, before we get into the sports portion of the show, want to jump in, straight into it and kind of talk about, the first topic, kind of how, doubt is a sign that you're growing, as an individual. And when I think of like doubt and Rashawn, feel free to kind of jump in whenever. But just in terms of doubt, is sometimes we question ourselves and we question our abilities day to day. Kind of obviously, kind of what we do is sometimes we feel like we doubt ourselves and what we're capable of, and we fall into that kind of imposter syndrome. But sometimes we forget that when we are sitting in that doubt, that we're really truly growing as individuals and as people. And is how are we shape shifted and kind of not necessarily like fully materializing into who we want to be, but kind of just like where do we take that doubt and allow that to propel us further. So I kind of want to kind of pose that question to you, just kind of in terms of whether it's doubt you face, man, and kind of how that shaped you to kind of further grow in your own right.
Yeah, I mean, that's really like a powerful like question. I mean, I feel like for me, I've said for the longest, like just because like I started out as an intern with the Carolina Panthers, and one of my biggest things that I learned from them was, and I guess it's pros and cons to it, but a lot of times I kind of have like the mindset of like even if I can't do something, I'm still say that I can. Like I want to get my feet wet, I want to jump in the storm, even if I don't have an umbrella just because I personally feel like that shows the courage. I feel like that shows who I am as an individual. I feel like that shows like, okay, like we know what type of guy this is. Like he's hard working. He's go put the team on his back. Even if he don't know how to do it, like he's gonna lie and say that he knows how to do it just because. I think that kind of just goes back to, like that doubt. Like there's so many times where I'm anxious or I'm nervous in, different situations. And it's like, you know what, like only way I'm going to be able to go ahead and do this is if I say yes, and then I
Yeah,
try to, tell myself,
facts.
different things of like, all right, like what's the worst that can happen? Like what, like somebody's gonna say no, or like, oh, this doesn't work out. Like, will this person even ever see me again? And then, I just kind of like have like a T chart in my head of like the pros and cons of this. Like, is it worth it? Like do the pros outweigh the cons, and I just feel like, like, it's going back to the question, doubt. Like, I feel like that's also something that like it's almost like your security blanket like within yourself, kind of like trying to like hold you back and be like, no, like you can't. Almost like you got the two people on your shoulders. You see
Yeah,
like the little like the angel and the devil or whatever. It's almost like
not
somebody
facts.
telling you
Yeah.
like, nah, you can't do it. Or like you got the other person like, no, you can. But it's like end of the day, like why not? Like you got to go out there and do it. And to your point, like all this gonna do is help you grow. Um, so yeah, so that's pretty much what I got to say about the doubt, man. And I will say also not to just keep, giving you your flowers because I'm definitely gonna beat you down when we get to the sports
You
subject.
are.
But you definitely have been somebody, now like with my new career, what I do at work, like you've been somebody that definitely like pretty much reassured me, help me out when I have these moments of self doubt, like with what we currently do. So I appreciate you for that. But it's definitely something that will help you build for success and like continue to like, keep your career going or whatever like your day to day in life. So yeah.
Not facts, not facts. And then I think to your point of just having the right people in your corner, kind of that reassurance is
Yeah.
very important and very vital. And like I even, us just having met earlier this year, you kind of help, further, reinsure me in that sense of, as far as some that I doubted within myself was kind of like that leadership capability. And just, how am I showing up to, those that are, new and kind of, obviously what we do and with everything. So just how am I showing up as a leader? Doubted myself in that sense, and just in other areas, just overall, and how can we get, like you said, how can we get past that? Kind of that anxiety, and kind of that unknown of what we're not aware of, and I think that uh jumps into perfectly segments into kind of the next topic of kind of that fear versus familiarity, and kind of like when we think of fear, it's obviously that unknown, something that we don't know about, but we're fully scared of it, and that is something that we can't really like pinpoint to, or like where that fear resides from, but how are we growing past that fear then, versus familiarity. And familiarity is kind of the things we already kind of know about, the things that we can kind of expect, the things we can kind of, all right, we're like, okay, these are the lessons I learned from this point on that now I can take on to here. But sometimes we forget too when it comes to kind of that fear, and familiarity, is that sometimes when we get caught up in what's familiar, that we still become fearful, because now we're just content with doing the same old rigmarole, and just being content with complacency, or not fully pushing ourselves. And I think that kind of comes back into that sense of doubt of like, oh, now that you're familiar with this this landscape or whatever, that it's something that, all right, I'm content, and now I don't really need to really propel myself, because that, like you said, that doubt kind of creeps in, and now we're really trying to hold ourselves back in that sense. We just want to get your thoughts just in terms of how you look at like fear, and how you look at just the familiarity as well, just in terms of those two concepts and those two ideas.
Yeah, I mean, that's something else that, I mean, to be honest, I'm still battling and dealing with like to this day. And I feel like it really started with sports. Playing sports growing up, there was a lot of times where I would be nervous and nobody would know. Like I would throw up before every game. I think I heard like somebody else say that, but like I was a kid that was throwing up before every game, and then I would
Dang, you was
go
out
out
here
there and have it.
puking.
I was out here puking, man. But then look, I go out there and puke, and I still drop off like 20 points. So it was still,
True.
but the thing was nobody knew behind closed doors, like what's going on with him.
Yeah.
And I feel like now as I'm older, like I coach, like yeah, as like I coach 9-year-old football with my dad, and I'm doing 9-year-old basketball. And it's funny because in football, like some of our best players, like when we would like get ready to like have a game on Saturday, they would be like, "Coach, like who are we playing?" Like, "Oh, is it the kids that we saw earlier on?" Like, "Oh, those are the big kids." And it's like I used to be those. I used to be them. So like I know what they're trying to get at when they say this. So
Yeah.
like I'm like y'all are scared, and like I'm
Yeah.
like now as I'm a coach, I'm like, man, like what you scared for? Like you cool, but
Yeah.
but when I used to be them, like I would understand it. They would try to. There's a one kid on the team. He was amazing, but he would literally be like, Coach, like tell me like what area like of the town that they're from, like do they have like the quarterback that can run? Like he would try to get every detail out of me that he could, so that he could find out who we playing. But the deeper side to that is not like who are they trying to figure out like who we're playing. They want to know who they're playing because I feel like personally, once you find out who you're playing as a kid, 9-year-old,
Yeah.
you're like, all right, we playing those big kids, we gonna lose. Or we playing those small kids that's about the same level as us. This the game I'm finna go off and have, a 50
You
yard,
gonna cook.
touchdown
Yeah.
run. Exactly. So
Yeah.
like that's why they're asking that. And I feel like it goes back to like the fear versus, like being familiar. Like when we would tell them, like, hey, we don't know who we're playing. It's almost
Mm.
like the fear of the unknown. Like they're just like, oh, I don't know. Like, are we going to Raleigh or we're going to, a different, like Coach tell us something. I'm like, I don't know. But,
Yeah.
when I'm telling them, oh, we playing the same team, it's like our divisional, like we play them like, 2 or 3 times later. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Like we cook them like we cool. But to your point, when you're familiar with that, you kind of get complacent. Like, you know what your limit is. You also know that like, okay, like there isn't necessarily a challenge because you've already been there before. But with the fear, this is what's going to put you. It's going to push you to that next, step and that next area of growth to where you can kind of, push through and be like, all right, cool. Like it's not about being familiar. It's about whatever circumstance I'm in. I'm going to be able to push through and rise above because at the end of the day, it goes back to the doubt thing too. All of this stuff is going to help you grow. If you're scared, if you doubt, and if you got fear, like all of this stuff helps you grow and it helps you grow as an individual in whatever area of like you're going through, whether it's sports, whether it's corporate America, whether it's relationships. Like, if you're
Facts,
scared to
yeah.
shoot, look, if you're scared to shoot your shot at a girl, and we say this
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
What's the saying? You miss 99%
Shoot, shoot.
like you gotta shoot. But I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't shoot, she go walk out and you go be sitting there like, dang man, like that was a bad like, but oh well, like she could have been
Yeah,
on your arm, but you'll never know. So it just
that's
goes
true.
back. But then you got the familiar side. You go to the same bar where you see the same girl. You like, all right, cool. Like I'm gonna be able to go ahead and spit my game there because you confident in that area. But it's about growing. It's about helping yourself grow so when you get to that area to where you're not scared of nothing. And I mean, like I said, I'm still battling that like with myself. Like I deal with this every day.
Yeah,
If I'm being honest, I was scared to get on the podcast. But look, I'm like, hey, end of the day, I don't know why either. But look, but the thing is, it's like only way I'm gonna grow and get better is if I say yes and I go ahead and commit to it. So I mean, it's literally in all aspects of life, and I think that's why it's such a dope topic to talk about because it's like everybody deals with it. And I
yeah,
mean, it can kind of go through, like I said, you an athlete, corporate America, like family. Like I know my cousin, he was dealing with fear coming over to my mom's house because he didn't want to run into certain family members, and I'm
yeah.
like, what you
Dang.
like what like are you gonna avoid people for the rest of it? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nah, definitely.
it's something that's like a big deal. Like I said, I'm still growing and I'm still learning with it. But I think the best way to do it is like go and get your feet wet because at the end of the day too is that I've learned that when you get your feet wet, even if you fail at it, people will go respect you just for being like, oh, like Mo tried it. Like we know
Yeah,
that Mo couldn't do this, but like he tried it versus the person that's gonna stand in the corner and be like, nah, that ain't me. Like people will still respect you and like they respect your courage for even stepping out there to do that. Like I said, that
nah,
goes
that's
for all
facts.
aspects of life. So yeah.
And I'd add on that even kind of how you kind of mentioned kind of that, how it kind of ties into, so many different aspects of our world and kind of our reality in terms of how when, that, that familiarity of like, oh, you already kind of know what to expect and how, when it kind of creates, that repetition of, all right, now I know what's coming. Now I can, confront it head on. But when we forget to, sit, like you said, sit in that doubt and sit in that unknown, that it's like, hey, how are we, challenging that part of ourselves that we didn't know really was present, that was there. And I think something sometimes we forget as people and just overall is that when to to change something about ourselves, we gotta do something different. And I think when when you're doing the same thing, the same routine, same everything, you're like, oh, nothing's changing for me, nothing's different about, but the thing is you didn't do anything different or you did choose to try to do something different. And I think when we remember that sometimes it requires doing something different to really, really see that different side of ourselves, that unknown. And I think once we get over that fear or, get over that doubt, we really kind of sense those signs of growth. And I think it jumps into, kind of this last point of, kind of that ruthless clarity and in
Mm-hmm.
the sense of where are you really being, self-aware of the things about yourself that aren't, aren't the best and aren't, necessarily working for you that all right, now here's what I really got to change. And now here's how I'm about to go about changing it. And I think I talked about it before on like previous episodes of sometimes, we think about, who we feel like we got to be for people and not versus like who we need to be for ourselves. And I think when we realize like who we want to be for ourselves and kind of that clarity of all right, this is who I'm gonna be every single day, whether it's all right, obviously we about to head into the new year, people about to have, a bunch of resolutions or things like that. And it's just like, all right, I plan to, be in the gym, for the first, 3 months of the year. But how are you, taking that approach to actually, keep that routine going to where not only it doesn't last just those 3 months of the year, it lasts that whole rest of the year and kind of moving forward. And I think when you have that ruthless clarity about yourself and, that plan of action of, hey, this is who I want to be and who I'm choosing to be. And this is how I'm going about it, regardless of, confronting the unknown about myself and, that doubt about myself is here. This is where the steps I need to take to actually get to who I want to be, to really, actualize that, part of ourselves. And I think obviously, we hear the terms, manifestation and all those, being thrown around, but I think it requires that clarity of, all right, how do you really go about, truly changing yourself? And just want to, get your thoughts. Cause even like I'll say for myself, like something that was, big on working on for this year, like my goal was, asking for help and kind of, like working on, delegating and, something like me, as you see me, at work, I'm running around, 100 miles an
Grinder,
hour and things
straight
like that.
grinder. Yeah,
I
for
put a
sure.
lot on myself. So I think it was something about how do I go about like really delegating, working on that, that part of myself. And it was unfamiliar to be like, all right, and I had to do like the small little steps. All right, I'm not gonna, take on this task and I can pass it off. And it doesn't require like the end of the world if I don't, do it or I don't handle it. So I think it was just taking those small steps and really now how do I take on that onus as not only, a delegate, but I think something, I mentioned earlier is just how do I continue to grow, as a leader. And I think it's just having that clarity of, all right, if this is how I want to lead, this is, the approach that I take. So just give me, some of your insights in terms of, just ruthless clarity and kind of uh, anything, just overall or just, clarity, within yourself or just overall, in the world that you've been noticing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also all of these are like dope topics to talk about, and I feel like I feel like it's a reason why I hopped on this pod when I saw like
Nah, I
what
got
the topics are, cause and definitely like all the lines. But I mean, as far as like the ruthless clarity, like I feel like for me, like the word that pops in my mind for myself personally is like confidence. And I feel like confidence, and once again, like whatever you do, like whatever area of life like you're in, like relationships, corporate America, like, if
Mhm.
you're an athlete, having that confidence to kind of know that like the work that you put in, like this is where it finally like shows, like what we do, I'm in events, so it's like we do all of this prep for multiple
Yeah.
months, and it's like, all right, like it's a lot, and then it finally gets here, and it's like, all right, like this is the moment where like this is my Sunday night football, 8 p.m. kickoff,
Facts.
Jim Nance or whoever, like this is it for me, and I feel like everybody has that area in their life of where it's like their spotlight, like it's their moment to rise to the occasion, and I would just tell people, like whatever you've done in the dark, like all of the grinding moments, whether it's, you had a resolution to work out, and lose weight, or whether it's, you had a resolution to, get deeper in your faith with, God, like whatever it is, you're gonna get tested. And when you get tested, like just like when we were in school, like, hopefully you did your homework and you studied, because like here come the
Facts.
test. And like when the test comes, like it's time for to buckle up and like hopefully you ace it. And I feel like that's the biggest thing that I've been working on is just my confidence, because I've had a lot of people from the outside tell me like, yo, Bree, like you got it. You gotta show it. You gotta get out there. You gotta be confident. 'Cause it's no point in, me just holding like me holding all of this in, and then, I go to the grave and nobody knew about it, but, me, myself and I, so
Yeah.
like it's time for me to, go out there and show it. So that's the biggest thing that I've been working on, this past year, whether that's, giving back to the youth, which is, helping with coaching, with my dad, whether that's, helping mentor, family members, whether that's help mentor, other people. I've had a great opportunity recently to help mentor some people who are also, like getting ready to graduate and they're trying to, get into the sports, field. So, you told Bree, a year ago, like, hey, you gonna be doing this, this, and this, I would have looked at you like crazy. Like, and
Yeah.
it's not even because, it's me being selfish or anything. It was just me, once again, not having that confidence to feel like, I can pour in other people. I'm looking like, people telling me like, hey, like you'll be a great mentor. And I'm like, I'm looking for a mentor for myself. Like, how are you
Yeah.
gonna tell me? But it's like, I still have the wisdom and the guidance that, somebody else, would love to hear and seek out. So I would just say, when it comes to, the ruthless clarity and your goals in the future, like one of my biggest things is just confidence. Like a lot of people already have it in them. It's just, you just got to go out there and show it, when it's your time.
Now, facts, big facts, man, and I agree with you on that confidence piece, and it's something even for myself, I'm working on day in and day out. In terms of how we show up for ourselves, and I commend you in terms of I've seen your growth from kind of when you started to now, like you know in terms of how you become, more confident in, kind of your role overall, and then just your confidence in how you kind of carry yourself, uh, throughout the office and things of that nature. So I definitely commend you on that, and definitely, have noticed, those signs, those areas of growth in terms of confidence. So definitely commend you on that, man.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think
Appreciate that.
you kind of talked about it too, just in this jump into kind of the lessons from 2025. It's funny that I was at the gym earlier today, and they asked us, to do a quick little vid of wins for this year. And it doesn't have to be fitness related and things like that. And I was struggling to think of
Yeah,
something to say. And then because I had to like go through the whole year, I was like, this
yeah,
year's been like such a whirlwind.
for
When
sure.
I think about like the places I went to earlier this year, the experience I got to have and things of that nature, to, the people I connected with, from, the relationships I built with you, and, more community, within the office, outside of the office, personally, professionally, just overall. And just when I think about it, but just kind of the biggest lessons I'd say for myself from 2025, is I think, to your point of, kind of that confidence piece and where I was able to see that. So for me, I do like themes for the year, instead of, like resolutions, because I don't believe in resolutions.
Yeah,
I feel like, people fall off from it real
for
fast.
sure.
So my theme headed into this year was kind of just like allowing things to kind of just like naturally be, and then also kind of real notice like the good in myself. Like I noticed like in the past, I would talk down on myself a lot and things like that. So I, try to revert that, thinking as well. So when, throughout this year, the big wins of, like hit my, 1 year, anniversary at the gym, finally, did a max day, that was different. It was crazy,
Yeah,
the ways I challenged myself. Like I said, further, challenging myself at work in terms of my leadership process and things of that nature. In terms of asking for help, something that, bruh, I struggle
yeah,
with, and it's hard for me just to ask for help. So I think doing that, more of that, and also just allow myself to kind of rest a bit more too. So, and so I I'll admit I didn't do the best of that one, but I think just,
yeah,
knowing just the different areas to kinda like approach the year just overall, and finding that balance, and just further, propelling my curiosity, in the world and myself, and how I took a big gap, especially like with the pod, for example. It was like it was this idea I had headed into the year of how, I kinda envisioned, the podcast to go, and obviously it didn't go that way, and it was like mentally set me back for a little second. But then I got past it and just was like, all right, that's not the reason why I do it. That's not like my why behind why I record this pod.
yeah.
And I just had to get back to that. And I think a big thing about like this year for me was just like getting back to my why. And then something like heading into next year, as far as my theme, is just finding that joy again, in things, and then taking those those necessary risks, and kind of to the point of like ruthless clarity, like really being clear about who I am and who I want to be, 2026 and beyond. But those are just some of the lessons for myself. How about you, for this year?
No, for sure. I mean, a lot of the things that you said kind of align with me. I think one of the first things that you said, kind of like finding like your why, and also, doing things, that kind of like not only like have purpose, but like that rest thing is a big thing. And not like, what we do, like it's not much rest.
Yeah.
kind of finding like, I think my biggest thing going into 2025 was, finding hobbies that like I could actually enjoy. Like I still be hopping on the game a lot, but as I'm getting older, like I'm starting to like have days where like I'll be on for like 30 minutes and I'm like, all right, like I'm
Yeah.
cool. So like one of the biggest things I picked up in 2025 was fishing. I actually like went fishing today with my mom. Like I love fishing. Like I don't even be catching something. Like I don't catch a lot. A lot of the times I go out there, but I think it's kind of like just going out there, the peace, like seeing like the landscape, like the serenity. Like people be out there, like people are just super nice, like they're approachable. Just kind of going out there. And I forgot where I heard this from, but somebody was saying like the thing about fishing is that like you could always expect something from somebody, but like in fishing, like you can't expect anything because like you don't know what's going to happen. Like you could go out there and you could catch 5 to 10 fish. You go out there and you could catch nothing, and it's like there's no way for you to like orchestrate something behind the scenes to kind of like get that expectation. Like you just got to go out there and sit and just hope. Like you can try to change your bait. You could try to get a different reel. But I try to like use like that aspect of life too. Like you don't know like what you don't know. Like certain things are going to happen, certain things that you thought weren't going to happen, like they do happen. I had a big career shift, in 2025. It worked out. Now I'm where I'm at now. We gonna see what 2026 has for me. But I would just say, the rest, the knowing your why, which, that's been the biggest thing also with 2025, like coaching. I love like coaching kids. Like it's a true passion that I have. Like it's something that like I genuinely like look forward to. When I would come back from flights, I would be like, "Damn, like I'm missing practice. I gotta touch down, immediately drive, get to practice." And it's crazy too, because like you get out there, you dealing with 9-year-olds, and they could care less to be there, but it's like they don't even know the impact that they're having on like my mental. Like me just being out here with y'all, even if they hate it, like y'all are like helping like my mental. Same thing with basketball right now. Like it's super, super dope to be out there and have the opportunity to coach kids. But I would say the biggest things that I've had is just, finding time for myself, finding things, hobbies for like a while. And then the biggest thing for me going into 2026, especially like with us being in the sports career field, is to stop like looking at other people's like paths and being like, oh, Mo did this, and this. Like I'm failing, like I'm
Yeah.
behind. I feel like it's so easy for people to like look at somebody else and kind of like judge their self off of that as if like like they're grading their success off of you. And it's like for
Yeah.
one, I don't know what you got going on behind closed doors, so I definitely don't know what anybody else has going on behind closed doors. And it's like I don't know why that opportunity came about, but it's like I feel like for at least for me, like I get on LinkedIn and I see somebody get this opportunity. I'm like, how? Like wow, like dang, like they 25 and they did this and this, or
Yeah.
they're 30 and I'm like. I'm failing, like I'm losing at this, and it's like that's not true. Like who said that? And I think that's my biggest thing for me. It's like kind of look yourself in the mirror. Like it kind of goes back to that confidence thing too, and like that self doubt. It's like, bro, like you're good, like you graduated, got a job, like you making bread. Like obviously that could be, but it's like you making bread. Like you're not working at, McDonald's. Like you're doing something that like you passionate about. You got your hobbies, like almost was like also having like that time of like gratitude and like just being grateful and thankful too. The self-reflection thing, like as we've been off from work, for this past week, like that's been my biggest thing to kind of just sit back and be like, bro, like I'm doing good. Like you
Yeah.
gotta chill out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta talk to somebody, you gotta be like, breathe, like chill,
Yeah.
like you
Like we
good,
got through it. We got
That's
through
what
it.
I'm saying. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you kind of you gotta give yourself like those talks because it's like
Yeah.
what are you trying to like get at so quickly, or like what is it that you feel like you're failing at? And I just had to like look at myself like, bro, like you fool, like if you would have told high school Bree that you doing this, like he would have been like, no way. So it's like this chill, like continue to run your course. Like that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing, like run your course. Like everybody's path is different, like especially in sports, like no one path is linear at all. Like you're not going to be able to get to the top and copy what somebody else did. Like one, connections is a huge thing, but just staying on what I was saying, like continue to stay on track, stay on course. Like it's gonna happen for you, and like just like take time to just sit back and reflect and like pat yourself on the back. And like however you got to do that, whether that's rewarding yourself with food, a vacation, like family, like whatever, like treat yourself. 'Cause like feel like a lot of people, especially in our generation, like we want it so quickly, and like we feel all this intense pressure to like be the best and
Nah,
put
facts,
on for
yeah.
our loved ones and our family. It's like, bro, like you good, and like if nobody else told you like you good, like I'm proud of you, like you doing your thing for sure. So just gotta chill out, relax, and like just kind of enjoy life, like enjoy the process. Like you don't want to race to the finish line and then you miss, everything else.
Nah, I agree 100% on all that, man. Because like you said, it's something I've always kind of say is like when we look at how we're looking at other people's journeys, like comparisons is, comparisons, and when you are, trying to figure out like, oh, why am I not, where I need to be kind of similar to someone else? It's like now you're forgetting like how far you gotten to this point. And sometimes when we don't give ourselves that credit, that's when kind of to talk about, earlier, like that doubt continues, creep in and you're not really like allowing yourself to really, not only take the credit of what you've accomplished thus far and, be grateful of kind of where you gotten so far that we just forget like, hey, and that's where that kind of that, that complacency, that, that fear, that familiarity kind of sets in and you get stuck where you feel like, like, oh, like, "Oh, this is all the only place I'm gonna end up." So I think it's sometimes we gotta look past that and get get over our own, mental hurdles,
Yeah,
and not get so caught up in everything. So no, I definitely agree with you on that. And then jumping into the second half of the show, we're gonna jump into you talked about coaching. My Falcons have terrible coaching.
they do, they do.
And I don't know what we're gonna do. Obviously, we've been winning right now, but we'll
Yeah,
get into week 16, week 17 kind of
yeah.
updates on the NFL. Um, your Panthers are looking good. Hopefully they blow it this week.
It's
For
wild.
me,
It's wild. The hate is
I'm gonna be a
crazy.
hater. I've been a hater all
It is
season.
crazy.
That's how I lost. That's how I lost my bets all
Yeah, both of
season,
them. Brought the broom
both
out.
of them.
Brought the broom out.
But I mean, y'all looking good. Hopefully, y'all, if y'all can pull it through, I don't think y'all gonna go far. But I mean, y'all run into the right matchup. Obviously, we'll never know what happens. But what's your take just, thus far, throughout this NFL season, not only just on your Panthers, but, throughout the league? I feel like because it's no real like formidable team this
Yeah,
year that we've seen like in the past. Like obviously, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Texans right now looking good as far as those teams that have, some of the better records in the AFC, but they're they're young. You still got the Bills over there with Josh Allen. We don't know who's going to come out the AFC North. Is it going to be the Steelers? Is it going to be the Ravens? The NFC, we thought it was going to be the Lions. They were cooking all season. They got hit with
alone.
injuries.
Yeah.
We thought the Bucks was going to run away with this South. They didn't.
Nope.
Obviously, y'all caught up.
We
Y'all
here.
caught up with them. Everybody was saying Baker was MVP. The Eagles fell off a cliff. So what's just your thoughts so far on this season? I think the NFC West is the Rams division to
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
But yeah, just your thoughts on the season so far and just, uh, your initial takes on what we thought was going to be another Patrick Mahomes versus, Eagles, rematch that
Yeah.
some people initially predicted. Obviously,
Yeah.
Patty's
Not happening.
out for the season. Yeah. But
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on the season so far?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy. I've been talking to a lot of people about it too, and like this is maybe I'm a little biased because like the Panthers are relevant this year,
Yeah.
but I mean, I personally feel like this is one of the better like NFL like seasons, and I think it's because of what you just said. Like there is no favorite. You can try to like
Yeah.
look at people's records and stuff and say like, oh, there's a favorite, but like in the AFC right now, like I think your top teams are like what New England, Buffalo, and the Broncos. I think, but
Yeah.
it's like I just saw the Broncos on Christmas struggle with the Chiefs backup quarterback, like that third string quarterback, and they
Yeah.
barely won that. Like people thought the Colts was legit, and they've completely fallen off. I mean, the
Yeah. I forgot
Patriots,
about the run
like
the
the
clip the
Patriots look
Colts was
good.
having.
Yeah, I mean, they brought in 44-year-old Philip Rivers, and it's
Yeah.
like, what are we doing? The Patriots. The Patriots look good, but I think the biggest thing that people have had with them is like, with their schedule easy. Like, have they actually
Yeah.
been tested? And then, I mean, you got the Bills. Like, I see all of the posts, like, Josh Allen has no excuse. Like, there's no Patrick Mahomes. There's no Lamar Jackson. Like, more than likely, there's no Joe Burrow. Like,
Yeah.
you, he's the best quarterback, not only probably in the playoffs, like, arguably, he's definitely the best quarterback in the AFC. So it's like, if he's ever had a chance, this is your
This is his
chance to get to the
chance.
Super
Yeah.
Bowl. And I mean, in the NFC, it's wild. I mean, the NFC West, that division between San Fran, Seattle, and the Rams. We could talk about the Cardinals, but like those three top teams. I mean, I've seen two of them play live just because the Panthers had to deal with them. We got Seattle this week, but all of those teams. I mean, whether it's their defense or whether it's their offensive playmakers, like I got one of those teams potentially coming out of the NFC.
Okay.
Philly is my dark horse, and it's crazy that I'm saying that
Nah.
they're a dark horse. But the reason why is because I've been saying this for a long time, and I think he finally popped off that game against Washington. If Saquon have just been holding himself for the playoffs, because if Saquon been holding himself for the playoffs, like he showed us a little glimpse of what he did last year in that Commanders game in the fourth quarter.
True.
I don't
I was gonna
know.
say. No, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say like I truly don't know. Like if Philly, like I feel like if Saquon is holding himself for the playoffs, then I feel like you could potentially get that same Philly team that you got last year.
I think
That's
that's the
all I'm
thing
gonna
with
say about
they
that.
team though, is like
Yeah,
they don't have that they don't have that balanced consistency that they've
they
had, in the
don't.
past. And I
That's
think
true.
it's like, some games they've been showing up like, oh, it's gonna be all on,
Yeah,
depend on Jalen Hurts. And they forget that Saquon's back there. It's
yeah,
like, I think, to my Falcons, we forget that Bijan's back there.
yeah,
Um, but it's like you said, if Saquon's finally, starting to gear up now, I agree with you. Like they could be the dark horse, but I still feel like they fall into that issue sometimes that it's like Jalen Hurts feel like he's got to be
yeah,
the guy to save
for
the
sure,
team, and
for
he gets
sure.
into that almost like it's weird when you think about it. Like in basketball, obviously like that hero ball, but like
Yeah,
that hero ball, that quarterback, he feel like he's got to make all the plays, and
yeah,
we seeing those games when he ain't making the
yeah,
plays
for
and he's
sure.
getting cooked.
Yeah,
So I think, like you said, though, if they can show up it if they're relying on
yeah.
Saquon in that defense, then I can see where like you saying they
It's
can be
it's
that
it's
dark
gonna
horse in
be,
the NFC.
and I think the NFC too is will come to a lot of matchups. Like
Yeah,
Chicago, for whatever reason, at least like from my like group or whatever, like I haven't been hearing a lot of people like talk about Chicago as far as like
it's
being
because
a
they
real
young.
threat.
They still young.
Exactly. But it's
Yeah,
like same thing with the Patriots. Like eventually we gotta stop saying like they young, like they keep
yeah, that's
winning.
true.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like they also got a really good coach. And we see how good of a coach he was with the downfall of Detroit. Like Ben Johnson
Yeah,
been cooking. So I mean, it's like is Chicago legit? Or they go because the thing is like if Chicago play a young team like the Panthers, like Chicago the favorite. So it's not
yeah,
like you gonna have this like young thing. I mean, even I mean San Fran, like I mean, yeah, that's like Brock Purdy, but I mean I, also, I'm gonna get a lot of slack because there's a lot of San Fran fans. San Fran is not legit, bro. They
they
not
not.
legit.
They
They just
not.
have McCaffrey, and that's it. Like San Fran is gonna get like I truly, if we make the playoffs, Lord, please, I want San Fran. I want to run it
Yeah,
back. I want to run it back. That's who I'm calling out.
nah.
I want San Fran.
San Fran.
I don't want none of
McCaffrey
these
gonna
other
run on y'all
teams.
again like he did. Because y'all should
I'm
have won
worried
that
about
matchup.
that.
I agree. Y'all should have won that game.
Brock
But
Purdy threw 3 picks in the first quarter.
he did. Wait, no, was that Brock or was that Mac Jones?
That's Brock. That
That was
was
Brock.
Brock's
Brock was
second
back that
game
game?
back. That was the second game back.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, just in that sense of like, yeah, y'all should have won that game, but will
We
your boy
didn't.
show up? Will Bryce show up?
Yeah, that's the
And I
that's the
think
biggest
that's
thing.
what cost y'all that game. So I mean, like, y'all offense really couldn't do anything that game. That
Yeah,
obviously led to because y'all defense was, I think JC Horn had what 2 picks that game.
yeah, 2 picks. We had
Yeah,
3 picks in total. He had two,
yeah.
then Mike Jack had one. Yeah,
And
he
y'all
been
ain't do
cooking, man.
nothing that whole first half. And I was like, see, this is the Panthers.
Yeah,
And y'all been up and down all season. So I think it's the
yeah,
thing of like, when are y'all gonna show up as the consistent
yeah,
team that I feel like obviously in the games y'all beat us in, y'all were
yeah,
consistent
yeah, yeah,
in the up and down games, even in the South matchups that I was able to, kind of catch and see, that shakiness. Obviously, the game against the Saints that y'all blew that y'all should have won. Um, then y'all, come out and show up against, Tampa Bay that people thought, oh, Tampa's, going dog
Yeah,
walk y'all, and when they wait to the division, but
yeah,
obviously that didn't come to fruition. And I think it's just what Bryce Young is going to show up on game day. And I think that's
yeah,
what's really dependent on y'all team because y'all defense is consistent. Y'all, y'all lock it down in the backfield. Y'all got a, strong number one, even though he a rookie, he been balling out at Tech. And I think even Chuba and Rico, when they consistent, y'all got a
yeah.
solid run game. It's just on Bryce on how he shows up that game.
You just said it all. You sound like a Panthers
Yeah.
fan, but
Nah, nah,
but
not
I
at all.
mean, I mean that's the only way to put it. We just
Yeah.
super inconsistent. I mean, you don't know what team gonna show up. I would like to say that we play up to our comp. I mean, I think when we play a team that we're not the favorite, I know we got like a
Yeah.
crazy stat that like whenever we're the favorite, I think we're like 1-12 or something crazy. But like, which also just
Was
shows
y'all
like
the
how much
favorites against
we
us in both games?
probably the second one. The first one I could have seen y'all because that was like week 3, week 4.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So I could see y'all
that's
being the
probably y'all
favorite
one
in that
win. y'all were,
one. Wow. Wow. But we super inconsistent. So I mean,
yeah,
we just gotta come out there and play. We gotta go out there and beat Seattle, and then we need to go beat Tampa. Or worst
yeah.
case scenario, we gotta sweep Tampa. So I mean, simple as that. But
I
Charlotte
facts
need to
that too.
play. We need the Panthers in the playoffs. I mean, the city be jumping, be buzzing. I mean, what's the injuries too that have started to happen with the season? Prolonging like
Yeah,
Green Bay lost Micah. The Colts lost. Daniel Jones. Like you see all of these like random injuries popping up. Like it goes back to what we said. Like truly, like there's no like team that you could just point out and be
favorite.
like
Yeah,
they go beat them. Like you really don't. Because I mean, we got swept by the 2-3 or the 2 and what 15 Saints or whatever. But then we go out
yeah,
there and beat the Rams, and then we go out there and beat Tampa. So it's like you
yeah.
truly don't know. Like it's a crazy NFL season. So I'm just excited to see how these last 2 weeks play out, and hopefully my team in the postseason.
All right, give me your super early AFC and NFC championship matchups that you feel like you
So
get.
basically,
You
like
can even
my,
do biased if you feel like it's the Panthers,
I mean,
but give
I,
me your super early
I,
AFC NFC championship picks.
I'm biased. I'm gonna say Josh Allen to overcome and get out the AFC. So I'm gonna say
Okay.
Buffalo. See, I truly feel like it got to be one of these NFC West teams. Like if I'm being biased, I mean if I'm being unbiased, I'm not saying the Panthers. I think it has to be one of these because I mean they're gonna have 3 teams in there. So I mean they're
Yeah,
gonna have San Fran, the Rams, and Seattle. I personally think it'd be between the Rams and Seattle. I'm gonna go ahead and just give a nod to the Rams. I think the Rams offense is just a little bit better. And I think I trust Matthew Stafford over Sam Darnold.
that's
So I
true.
think
Yeah.
I think I'll lean towards the Rams and Buffalo. But I definitely could see it being either the Rams in Seattle, if not us. If not
Okay.
us. We could if we go ahead and creep up in there, then
Okay, I like that pick. I like that pick. Definitely, I can see. Yeah, like you said, like Buffalo. This is Josh Allen's time.
yeah,
It's if he the only his best chance is now. It ain't no like you said, ain't no Lamar, ain't no Joe,
yeah,
ain't Patty there no more right
yeah,
now. So I think like his best chance now, and I feel like they have the most experience that they
for
should
sure,
propel. But obviously, we
for
know the
sure.
Bills curse and all that. Hopefully,
Yeah,
they don't fall ill to that. But I think yeah, I
yeah,
agree with you, Buffalo, and Imma go somehow, some way, Detroit shows up despite their injuries, despite everything
Detroit.
that
Detroit not making the
Detroit pulls
playoffs.
it out. Huh?
They got eliminated.
Detroit's
Detroit got
out?
they got eliminated yesterday.
Oh, dang, I definitely forgot about that. Alright, never mind,
You got
not
you, got- you got
Detroit.
to redo that pick. Yeah,
I do gotta redo that pick. I forgot they got eliminated. Damn, the injuries
yeah,
really hurt them like that. That's
they
crazy.
did. They fell off, man.
Oh, because they were balling. Dang. Wow. Then I
Good.
agree with you. It's the Rams because the
Hey, you can go ahead and
only
say that other blue
the
and
only
black team if you
team
want.
The only team in the NFC that I think could outdo the Rams, maybe, is the Eagles.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the Eagles because I think if, like you said, if they ride on Saquon
yeah.
and that's who they leaning on and not depending on Jalen Hurts' arm and the tush push and all that, I think it's still gonna be the Eagles. So I'm gonna go Eagles Bills
I can see that.
early, Super Bowl pick
I can see
because
that.
I can see the Rams too. Like you said, they have the best offense in terms of, in that NFC West, kind of that tier. But Seattle's defense has been balling out. I feel like, and
It's
if they
crazy.
can
It's
get
crazy.
right and
Yeah.
just Sam Darnold makes something happen,
Yeah,
I
you
think
know
they
what I
can
mean?
pull it off. But I'm gonna go Eagles Bills though, just
Yeah.
overall.
I will say
And
the dark horse team that I got in the AFC, and this is going into like my conspiracy theories because I think it could be the Panthers and the Broncos again. But I will say the Broncos, so they don't have much experience. Even though they made the playoffs last year and got beat. But
yeah,
they got a Super Bowl winning head coach. And also, even though their offense is questionable at times, defense is what wins games. And they got
that's
a
true.
they got a legit defense. So I think that the
Yeah,
Broncos could end up getting in there if somehow like Buffalo. Because the thing about Buffalo don't got the first seed. So Buffalo got to play on the
they gotta
road
play on the road
immediately
too.
because
Yeah,
New England locked up that division. So it's like let Josh Allen lay a goose egg, and he it'd be Drake May and Trevor Lawrence and Bo Nix. Like out of that group, I'm gonna rock with Bo Nix and Sean Payton. Like even though Drake may be balling, like I'm gonna take coaching and Bo Nix and that defense over those leftover teams. So just keep an eye on the Broncos, and if the Broncos make it, then you know for a fact, you know who coming out the NFC. Then if the
y'all not
Broncos
coming
make
out the
it,
NFC, dog. Y'all not coming out the NFC.
oh man,
I love the thought about it, but y'all not coming out the NFC. But
what are y'all doing? What y'all doing around this time in
all
December?
right,
What y'all doing?
let's segue to the next. We gonna segue to the NBA right quick. How my
For
Lakers are
sure, for
doing
sure.
trash. Speaking of who not doing nothing, my Lakers looking lost.
Rough,
We
man.
got cooked on Christmas against the Rockets, and I think something I noticed about our team is like, and I've been saying this is we struggle against young athletic teams
Yeah,
because our
for
defense is
sure.
trash, it's slow footed. But just like across the league, obviously, yo, the Spurs got OKC's number. Noticing that
Three
Jokic is
times
a
is
monster, but
crazy.
we knew that.
Yeah.
Um, who else? Just from
I
the
mean,
Christmas Day games.
I think from
You said
Christmas
what?
Day and also from the NBA Cup, like my best friend is he from New York. Like you gotta start questioning like are the Knicks like a guaranteed team for the East? Cause I mean, you
Nah,
look at the
it's still
East,
too early.
it is early, but as of right
Yeah,
now, like I think Detroit is the second seed. I'm not taking
I
Detroit beating
think
them in a 7 game series.
Detroit. To me, honestly, Detroit is better than the Knicks. To me, just because I think, like, because I think what's gonna mess up New York is they're gonna try to make a move that they don't need to make. And they're
Mm,
gonna get greedy. So I think either
okay.
whether they go for the big fish and go get Giannis or
Yeah.
try to, or if they keep it the same, I don't think
Yeah.
how the offense like, yeah, they won the cup. Obviously, they beat, the Cavs, and
Yeah.
the Cavs have been kinda inconsistent. It shouldn't have
Super
been that close
inconsistent.
against the Cavs because
For
this not the
sure.
same defensive Knicks team that we saw last year. So I think that's
That's
the thing
fact.
too that we
Yeah.
forget about the Knicks is, like, they defense is not like that this year, and
Yeah.
I think that's was their calling card last year that allowed them to kind of, propel as far as they did last year versus Detroit, like, that's a they got a system. They know what they're doing. With K's that the superstar, Durant, all of the role players they play. It's like they're like a mini OKC, but they're not there yet. And
Yeah.
I think
No,
that's the
I
thing
get what you're saying.
about the Pistons. So, and the same with the Pistons. Hopefully, they don't make the risky move too and try to like go mess it up because I think that's gonna be the thing with a lot of these teams as we kind of get closer to
Hmm.
the tail end of the season, especially as we get closer to the trade deadline, is who's gonna make a move that feels like, all right, we
Yeah.
gotta we gotta make this move to get us, over the hump. And I think, it's a lot of guys out there, people talking about like Anthony Davis, people trying to get Giannis. I
John
know my
Morant.
Lakers need to get a 3-and-D wing.
Yeah.
We got to get something on defense.
Yeah.
Like we got to get a point of attack defender. But just in terms of like the right moves that teams make moving into kind of the second half of the season, that's why I feel like New York is still too early for them. Like, yeah, they look good
Yeah,
and they are like one of the best teams in the East right now, but like the East has been so up and down that it's
it's true.
like, because nobody expected Boston to be balling out like they are now. Because we
Facts,
saw
yeah.
how Boston struggled early in the season. Now they
Yeah.
balling out. Jalen.
Going
Uh,
off.
Jalen Brown balling off. Yeah, eight
Yeah.
straight with 30 points. So it's like,
Trying to
all right,
trying to
who in
show
the
that he
East
a
is
number
really gonna
one.
come out?
Yeah. I said he trying to show that he a number one, man.
Yeah, I mean but he's always been that.
Yeah.
I think I never doubted that. I think it was always obviously it's Tatum's team, and I
Tatum,
think
for
that's
sure.
that was the issue with that.
Yeah.
But just throughout the league, just overall, I think it's still too early. I mean, like I said, though, Wemby balling out. I mean,
Yeah.
they finally got him. They they the number two in the West. They
Yeah.
showing why. Beating OKC handedly every single time. Like I think they had Wemby off the bench on Christmas.
They did. Yeah,
If
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, they can bring Wemby off the bench and still ball out. Yeah, yeah, it's a problem. So
They
I
tough,
think
man.
think the Spurs, but I think the thing with them, and I think we said in the NFL is,
Too
the youth
young, yeah.
factor and everything. So it'll be interesting as the season continues. But to your point, the Knicks is still early.
It is. It is early. The NBA is, it's funny because like I like basketball more than football, but I don't really start watching basketball until like after All-Star break, just because
Nah, that's
of like what
fair.
we're talking about now is that I mean, for one playoff, best of seven, but it's also like you can have certain teams that go start going on a run. They might not even be in the playoff hunt right now, and then come
Yeah,
February, they're just going on a tear. But I think right now, if Wemby stays healthy, even though that they are young, the Spurs are a legit threat.
yeah.
I think your top three teams in the West are go stay there. I don't know where Denver is, but like my top three is OKC, Denver, and the Spurs. I think Jokic is like Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Like I had an argument
He
with my
is.
friend the
I
other
agree,
day,
hands down.
bro, like I'm willing to go ahead and stamp like mind you the 3-time MVP, NBA champion. Like Jokic will retire top 10. Like I don't care what everybody's feeling.
Top
I got
five,
Jokic. That's fine. That's fine.
top five.
If we want to move him up, that's fine. But like Jokic, like I'm willing to go in and guarantee he's gonna retire top 10. Like bro's numbers is and he does it so like with little effort. He don't even look like he's
Yes,
a
he
basketball player. Like
right. And the fact that like he leads the league in assists and rebounds
yes,
as
yes.
the center, bro. Like he's your five and he's doing everything. He
What
dropped a
else needs to
50,
be
what I want
said?
to say it was 56, 15, and 16.
56, 15, and 16, or either 15. It don't even matter.
Yeah.
Your
Like
best player ain't doing that. Your favorite player not doing it.
exactly. Ain't
Like,
nobody
nah,
and nobody did that in a bit since I think Harden
yeah,
did that. So I
he,
think, yeah.
he
Jokic,
tough,
I agree
man.
with you. I love Luka. Braun, falling off. I think honestly, you know me, I feel like it's time. Maybe we get rid of
And
Braun,
look, I ain't gonna lie.
do something with Braun. But Braun,
Bro,
but
Brian don't care no more. Like I'm the biggest, so like for the people that don't know, like I'm a Hornets fan, like that's my team. But like wherever LeBron go,
so
I go.
sad.
Like it's been like that since like since bro been in
Yeah,
the league. But Brian do not care. And then the thing that's funny
he
is
don't
that
at all.
JJ cares so much. Like JJ don't realize. I think I saw his interview after Christmas that he was like, "Gonna have to have like some real like uncomfortable like talk." I'm like, bro, you can't have that with LeBron on your team. And the reason
I
why is
agree.
because like it's LeBron. Like it's not even to like try to like gas him up. It's just like you have a top three all time player of this sport on your team. He don't gotta do
It's on
nothing
his
no
way
more.
out.
He's
Yeah,
40. Like
yeah, he
he
don't care.
chilling. He cruising. So like cause I think because we could look because we talked about that clip when he was like talking to like somebody like on the bench and JJ was like yelling at him and like LeBron
Oh
over
yeah,
there laughing.
Against the Suns. Yeah, I would say it was against the Suns. Yeah,
Bro,
a few
like
weeks
that right
back.
there, like that right there, like that defines that whole team. Like it's until bro is either locked in on the playoffs, because then Luca already like we already know Luca's biggest like weakness is that he don't play defense. So you got two out of your five not running back on defense. AR is now
Yeah,
out for 4 weeks, I just heard.
yep.
So
something gastro something. I don't never heard of it, but I guess part of his calf strain that he was already out for before. Now he out for 4 weeks. So yeah, we down.
It'll be
It's
interesting, man.
it's tough, man. And then to your point, like I was even watching when I was looking back and watching the game, the Christmas Day game against the Rockets, and I
Yeah,
saw how bro, it was this whole I wanna say it's like 4 or 5 plays where the Rockets was getting so many second chance points, bro,
yeah.
and LeBron was right there, not no effort. And I'm just like, dog, it's just the slightest effort and could change things. Like you said, he don't care anymore. And it's like I mean, obviously
He
he
chilling, bro.
cares, but he don't care to the level of like, all right,
He's
it's
not
time to
gonna
like lock
have
in, like
that.
you said.
Yeah, he's just not gonna have that like maximum effort. Like you could even
Yeah,
hear it in like his like interviews like post game now. Like he'd be like, I'd rather be at home with the kids. It's like we get it, bro. And it's like
right.
he's and the thing is like he's earned that. But the thing that's
Yeah,
like weird is that he's on a team that has championship aspirations. And like when you got this player who like still can give you 20, a night, but he just
yeah,
like I'm LeBron. Like he
yeah.
don't care. So he just
No, I
he
agree.
cool. And I think that's the biggest thing. And then like my other friend, he was like, if the Lakers move LeBron. But the thing is, like as great as a player as he is, like I truly believe next year is his last year. Shit, if they win this year, it might be this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
But
Which I thought.
honestly, but
No, go
like
ahead.
honestly, like the biggest thing is like I don't think that there's any team that like would want to trade for LeBron at this point because it's like
Yeah,
you only go have him for 1 year, then you go have a lazy like 15 a night like legend on your team. But like unless you're trying to boost, like the Hornets could use him because we need people to fill the seats. But
it's
like
no
there's no
facts.
contender that like because people been trying to say he could go back to Cleveland. If Cleveland does that, Cleveland is stupid because you're gonna lose
And
your
I would
youth
love it because we gonna steal everything that they got.
literally. Literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But nah, it's gonna be interesting, like you said. I think the rest of this season is gonna be interesting throughout the league. It's a
Yeah,
lot of it's like the but I think is the dope part about this season too is it's showing like the league is gonna be fine without LeBron.
for
And
sure.
I
No,
think
for sure.
that's the
Absolutely.
thing that like people were worried about, years ago and things like that. Like, oh, what's the league gonna be like without Braun, Steph,
Yeah.
and KD? But
Yeah.
like we got these young stars that balling out, like Cooper
Yeah.
even balling out. You got
So
Con Nipple and fucking in Charlotte looking like a star. He's the best player
yeah.
for the Hornets, which is crazy to
We
say.
got one. We got
Y'all
one.
got one finally. It took some time,
Oh, it
but
took a
y'all
lot of
finally
time.
got one. But
Hey,
hey, did he get hurt? He
hey, look, it's
hey,
cool.
is it the streak? Is it the
We ain't,
curse?
we ain't talking about that right now. We on a team. That's all that matters.
You're right. You're right. But I see, like, I think throughout, like, the talent that's coming up in the league,
Yeah,
like, the league's gonna be fine. I think that's what
for
it's
sure.
showing. Even like the start of this season without Brian, and how, which is crazy. Like, we balled out without Brian, and
Yeah,
when he come back, and I think we talked about it too. It's like, hey, when Brian come back, he gonna get the blame. If we
you gonna
start
get the
losing, and
blame.
we
Yeah,
seen it. I think 3 straight losses. My Lakers, we
yeah,
gonna figure it out though. We're gonna
for
make it to the
sure. For
championship
sure.
regardless. It's gonna
For
happen.
sure. For sure.
But then just last quick one, quick rapid fire on this one.
Yeah,
The WNBA, the CBA, we see that the WNBA they decided that they'll, they collectively voted that they got to strike, they're going to strike. So what's your thoughts on like if the WNBA, obviously, they got Unrivaled coming up, so
yeah.
it's going to, take away some attention from the CBA negotiations. But what's your thought on like if the WNBA strikes, how do you feel like it impacts the momentum they've gained, and like how did you feel like it's gonna, be detrimental to, kind of their growth, kind
Yeah.
of from this far, the growth they've maintained, this far.
I mean, it's tough, man. I was watching what do they call it, the Stud Buds. I think I saw them.
Yeah.
I saw a video of them like yesterday, and one of them were talking about like the whole pay thing, and it's tough because like, are they getting paid with their value? Like, no. Like
Nah,
they should
of
all be
course
getting
not.
paid more. Like we've
Yeah.
been saying this, but kind of like going off of what you said, like it's the momentum, and especially because the WNBA, I don't think a lot of people realize the WNBA season starts. I think it's like a month after like Women's March Madness, because I remember like that was the whole thing. Like when Caitlin Clark was done, like she was like at draft night, and then like she literally had like
Yeah,
4 weeks to like get ready. And it's like that momentum, like you got girls coming out of college, like the girl from what's the girl we talking about? The girl from Iowa State. You got
yeah,
the girl from UConn, AZ or Ozzy Fudd. I mean,
yeah,
you got people coming out, and it's like the momentum is definitely gonna it's there. And I mean, was this gonna put a pause on it for sure? I love the Unrivaled though because I feel like that gives them a secondary like option, and also I think it's ran by Nafisa Collier, right?
yeah.
I
The
think her
visa
and
and
Brianna Stewart.
Brianna, yeah,
Yeah, so like I like that they have that option. Obviously, I don't know what the pay is on that, but I know that like a lot of them, because I follow, I think it was like Zaya Cooking, like somebody else. Like a lot of them still end up going overseas to play.
yeah,
Still to just get a bag. I don't know. It's tough, man. Like, I really been loving the WNBA season. Like I feel like it's getting more odds than it has like within the past decade. You got all of these college phenoms coming out, and people want to see how they gonna match up against like your Asia Wilsons or your Brianna Stewart or Sabrinas. And I mean, I want to see it keep going, but also it's like it's the strike going to get them what they deserve. And I
yeah.
mean, I'm all for like whatever they feel like they need and they deserve, which is to get paid. Like if they feel like this is the next step to get them to get paid, then I'm all for it. So
I
we'll
agree, and I
we'll
think
see what
the
happens.
thing I feel like I've been seeing the biggest hiccup within the negotiations is like, are they? It's like they're it's the weight of, all right, are we going to take the benefits? Because, they're limited in terms of their, overall benefits as
Yeah,
players to, all right, are we now is the focus, on the pay. So I think that balance of the two of like, all right, which one is, more priority and which one takes more priorities, the interest in one.
yeah,
Obviously, I think I've seen some of the numbers from the WNBA side of like, oh, I think the top players, I think like some of them will finally, make like $1 million, like in terms of
hmm,
salary and things like that. But overall, like throughout the league, as far as the overall like cap doesn't like fully increase. And I think also the revenue share,
yeah,
something that they, don't really get a good fair share of compared to, the NBA counterparts. I want to say because in the NBA it's like 49-51 in terms of the league and the
yeah,
players. And I don't even know like the
yeah,
exact numbers with the W, but I know it's nothing like that. So I think
yeah, for
even the
sure.
revenue share model is something that a big contention. But like you said, it's gonna be interesting, especially like you said, the progression of the league, the growth in sponsorships
Yeah,
like we see, throughout our industry and things of that nature that we see, people buying into the W
sure,
and seeing how the, league is expanding. So, and then you see, like you said, the young stars that are coming from the college ranks to now, fully, ready, to take their skill level or take their talents to the W. So it's going to be interesting
sure,
how that, derails things. So,
yeah,
room for them, like you said, just to get their bags and get their money and get everything squared away, and get what they deserve because they deserve
for sure,
the most.
absolutely.
Like it's like the fact that I even think about like the whole flight, like private
Hmm.
flights
Yeah, that's
took so
crazy.
long was crazy,
Yeah,
man. I was
no,
like,
for
yo,
sure.
what is going on? So
It's
they
wild.
definitely deserve what they deserve, and it's gonna be interesting that as these negotiations continue, and if they got to strike, fully supporting it in that sense as well. But before we close out, want to quickly do a quick rapid fire of your top four. So top four is give me your current favorite album right now you're listening to, your favorite show you currently watch it. What do you have currently going on, and then what are you looking forward to? Just kind of overall, life, etc. So
Let me see. Currently listening to. I'm trying to think what's the name of it. Currently listening to the G Herbo album. I think it came out in
okay,
November, but I've been having that on repeat for a good little minute. So I've been
okay,
really, really just been on that. Favorite song that had its longevity. So if I haven't heard that, definitely check that out. Current show that I've been watching. I really been rewatching a lot of old shows. My girl got me on Scandal right now with Kerry Washington. Uh, I'm really invested in that just because the characters in it. I've been really invested in like characters. And I'm just
Okay.
like, bro, like, but I've been watching Scandal, and then I've been rewatching Breaking Bad. So I never
Okay.
finished the last season of Breaking Bad. So I'm going through rewatching Breaking Bad. And then, what
Okay.
is it? What I got going on right now, what I'm looking forward to right now, what I got going on, work, as you know, but as far as on the side, looking forward to coaching my first basketball game for the 9-year-olds. We're 2-0 right now, but the first game
Hey,
I
let's
was
go. Big
out
dubs.
of town. Second game, my dad handled that one, and we cooking right now. And mind you, our
Okay.
best player been out, so we cooking
Oh,
right now. So I'm really
okay.
looking forward to the first game, and then what I'm looking forward to in 2026, uh, just growth in all areas. I just want to continue to grow, be better in literally every area. Relationships, being a better brother, better son, better friend. Better, worker for, whatever comes. So I'm just
Yeah.
looking forward to what 2026 has in store, and just really to try to continue to grow and develop into being, the best person that I can be. So yeah.
Nah, that's a bet. That's a bet, man. Appreciate you. Like I said, appreciate you coming on, man. Insightful conversations, finally glad, I know we talked about it. It's been a minute. We've been like, all right, we're gonna do this.
Hey,
And we finally did
hey,
it. So
for
glad we
sure.
could make it happen, man.
Absolutely.
Enjoy, the rest of your time off, till we gotta get back to the grind. uh but as always, appreciate y'all for listening to me, kind of ramble all the time. And appreciate my guest, Brashawn, joining in on the rambles. But until next time, peace.